Hi. So this is a little different from how you're used to seeing me. Today we are going to do, as you can see here, a tier list on TierMaker.com of every Adrien Brody movie. If you're unfamiliar with tier lists, basically S is supreme, and then from there it goes to like letter grades, A, B, C, D. And then here I added a category for things you haven't seen because I figure you don't want to give something the lowest grade just because you haven't seen it yet. By the way, I'm going to put the link for this tier list in the description. So if you want to go make your own ranking, go for it. If you'd like to make your own video, I'd love to see that. So yeah. Okay, so Home at Last. That's a cute movie. It's only an hour long, kind of an after school special type thing. I'm going to put it down here in C for now. Nothing against it. It's just, there's better stuff. So, New York Stories. This one's complicated because I've never fully seen Adrien in it. I've only seen him in silhouette in the background in one scene. He says there's a party scene that he's in where the girls are complaining about his character wearing too much cologne or something like that. I've never found that. So, even if he were prominently featured, I would put this low because this segment, it's one of those anthology kind of movies with different directors and everything. His section is not great. So it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, so you would think, it'd be to a certain level. But anyway, it's not great. I'm going to go ahead and put it down here in D, I'm afraid. The Boy Who Cried. Yes, that's the real title. That goes in C. It's a decent film, but it's disturbing, heavy subject matter and stuff. Now, King of the Hill to me is an A tier, possibly even an S tier, but let's put it at the top of the A tier for now. It might get bumped up later as I think about it. Angels in the Outfield is a sweet film. It's not, Citizen Kane, but it's fun. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put that in B. It probably won't stay at the front of B though. That's the thing with tier lists, by the way. You do your tiers, but then you also do kind of a ranking in each tier. So in other words, the thing right next to S is like your top number one. So things will get shuffled as we go here. The thing with Jailbreakers is it was an homage to B movies, so I think it's kind of campy and rough on purpose. So it's really hard to rate it in a way, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D. Yeah. Honestly, it's better than New York Stories just because Adrien's in it more. So, 10 Benny is, I'm going to put that in B for now. Is it better than Angels in the, I think it's better than Angels in the Outfield, probably. And like I said, more Adrien. This was his first lead in a full-length film, so that's kind of important for us fans. Next we have Solo. Adrien played the scientist who built Solo. And he's kind of the only person involved in the project who has a moral compass, which he has passed on to Solo as well, which is cute, considering he's a cyborg. So Solo, I'm gonna put it in C, but I like it better than The Boy Who Cried. That word. So we're gonna put it there. Bullet is a star-studded cast, just really impressively assembled cast. Tupac Shakur, Mickey Rourke is the lead, named Bullet. Adrien, of course, and Ted Levine from Silence of the Lambs. I'm going to put, for New Kids on the Block fans, Donnie Wahlberg is also in this. Bullet, I'm going to put in B, I think, at like the end of B, maybe. It had a lot more potential than what it reached. So the last time I committed is Adrien is in, I think, like 2 scenes, but they're both really charming The film overall is good. It's just, it's not something I rewatch often. So for me personally, I'm going to put it in B right after 10 Benny, I think. Yeah. The Undertaker's Wedding is very cute. The story is funny. Adrien's funny and charming. I covered this film in the fun side video, so if you want to see more about that, it is. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna be so bold as to put it in B, but probably after Bullet. So 6 Ways to Sunday. I'm going to give that a C. I would put it in D, honestly, because it's not my thing. But if I'm being fair, it's too good for D. It's just not my thing. Restaurant. Restaurant, I love. I'm putting it in A. So there's that. That was easy. Thin Red Line. I am bitter toward the Thin Red Line, as are a lot of Adrien Brody fans. I'm going to do a video about that later on, so we'll save that long story. And we will put it in B, because, I mean, it is a very beautifully shot film. Summer of Sam, overall, it's a good film. I'm going to go ahead and put that up in A for now. I mean, it's Spike Lee, and it's a good cast, and Adrien's performance is quite good, and his storyline is good, actually. Okay, Oxygen is actually going to be featured in a video I'm working on right now. It is, you know, it's underrated. It really is. I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it between Last Time and Angels in the Outfield. So right there. Liberty Heights is quite good. A good cast, as I've said with a couple of these. I'm gonna put that in B. I'm gonna put it in front of 10 Benny for now. Bread and Roses, also B, I think. Yeah, also gonna be in the video I'm working on right now, as is Harrison's Flowers, which I'm putting in A. I think that's an underrated, underseen kind of film. Plus David Strathairn and Adrien Brody are both in it, and they are two of my favorite actors, of course, so there you go. Love the Hard Way. If I was just going on Adrien's performance, it would be S tier, seriously. The film itself has some flaws, though. I'm gonna put it in B at the front for now. Actually, you know what? No, Liberty Heights is still better, I think. The Affair of the Necklace, I'm putting in C. But right about there. Yes, I like Solo more than The Affair of the Necklace. Dummy is good. It's quirky, fun. It's a character I always wanted to see Adrien play, because he's, you know, not the guy with swagger and charm. You know, he's like he's a shy, naive. So yeah, anyway, Dummy we'll put right about there in A tier. And now we have The Pianist. S tier, that was easy. The Singing Detective is a decent movie. It's a very unusual film. It kind of blends reality, fantasy, body horror, gangster film, musical. It's like everything. So I'm gonna put it. You know, I'm gonna move the Thin Red Line up a little, because I mean, to be fair, it is a very good film. It's just I'm just bitter about the editing. The Village. I stand by that The Village is underrated, and so is Adrien's performance in it. So I'm putting The Village right here between Restaurant and Summer of Sam. The Jacket, that is also an A. Possibly right there, actually. Yeah. King Kong is one of those films that's a little frustrating, because as long as it is, there's still some storylines that feel rushed somehow. I'm going to go ahead and put it in B. I'm going to put it... I guess ultimately it's a better film than Liberty Heights. Yeah, I guess so. Hollywoodland is an A. I will die on that hill. Thank you very much. It's better than The Village, actually. The Darjeeling Limited is, for me personally, an S tier. I don't know if my own biases are, affecting my judgment, but I'm going to put it in the top of A for now. So that's kind of a S tier minus, I guess. A Matador's Mistress is one of those films that looks beautiful, but the story is lacking, kind of like The Thin Red Line. So we're going to, I think we're going to put that down in C, but prior to these, right about there. Yeah, we'll go between Home at Last and Solo in the C tier. The Brothers Bloom, I'm not as fond of as I used to be, but I'm still going to put it in A tier. I think it's actually better than Dummy, I think. Cadillac Records, another one of those that had potential and kind of squandered it because chronologically it's a mess. Like they're showing stuff happening in the 50s that happened in the 60s and vice versa, and it's like, who is your research person? Or maybe it's the editor's problem. I don't know. So anyway, we're going to put Cadillac Records in C, mostly because of that. The performances, however, are fantastic. Jeffrey Wright is in this. That's the first thing I saw him in that I remember. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put Cadillac Records in B tier because the performances are quite good. I'm going to put it right about there. Okay, Giallo is a D. If I was rating his performance as the detective, it would probably be in C tier, if not a little higher. But the rest of it and his performance as the killer, spoiler alert, he also plays the killer under a fake name. Splice, a lot of people would put that in D. I'm not going to. I'm actually going to put it in the head of C here. Fantastic Mr. Fox is S tier. 100%. High School, I'm going to, now this is my own bias showing, I'm putting that in B. I'm actually going to put that right after The Thin Red Line. And I know that sounds absolutely insane to put a stoner comedy up in the ranks of The Thin Red Line, but I'm telling you, it's much better than your average stoner comedy, and Adrien's performance is a lot better than you'd expect in such a film. So Predators is going in A. Thank you very much. The Experiment is one of those films that's very good, but it's very hard to watch. There's a lot of troubling stuff that goes down in there. It's rough. However, it is a good film. I'm going to put it in B. You know what? It might get this spot right here between The Thin Red Line and High School. Wrecked is another one of those that is hard to watch because, pardon my squeaky chair. Wrecked is a remarkable performance because he's on the screen by himself for 95% of it, maybe. I'm actually going to put it in B. I'm going to put it above King Kong. Hot take. Detachment is S tier. And that's all I have to say about that. Midnight in Paris is basically a cameo. He's in it for 3 minutes or so. But the film itself is S tier. It was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars for a reason. So there you go. Now, Love Marilyn is a unique one. It's a documentary about Marilyn Monroe's diaries that I believe they found them in a storage locker, an abandoned storage locker. So it's basically a bunch of different actors, tons of big name actors reading her diary entries and reading excerpts from books that people have written about her, stuff like that. So it's hard to rate something like that in terms of how good of a movie it is, because it's a documentary, I'm actually going to put it in B. Now back to 1942. The story is good. It's an important story. It's a true story about a famine that took place in China while they were at war with the Japanese in 1942, hence the name. Adrien plays a photojournalist named Theodore White who helped kind of bring awareness in America to what was going on over there. It's an intriguing story. It's just maybe not as rewatchable as some of the other things here. So I'm going to put it in B right about here. Inappropriate comedy, D at the end. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Third person, highly underrated in my opinion. I'm actually going to put that in B. I don't know if I want to put it at the front. I'm going to put it right about here between 10 Benny and Cadillac Records. That feels right to me. I was taking up valuable real estate, so I moved me down here. The Grand Budapest Hotel. We're putting that in S tier. I'm putting it before Detachment, honestly. For me personally, I would probably put it before The Pianist even. I'm gonna put it above Fantastic Mr. Fox. It feels weird to put something he's a supporting actor in below a cameo, so that's my logic. I'm sticking to it. All right, for now. Houdini is on his Letterboxd credits as a film, but it's a mini-series from television. There are flaws in it. There are untruths in it. The soundtrack is very jarring because it's very modern type of music, and it's, not a modern story, so all of those things considered, I'm actually going to put it in B at the end, below Bullets. That feels right. He was nominated for an Emmy for it, so obviously his performance is good. It's just there's some things that aren't factual. So, American Heist. I do not like this film, but I know a lot of people do. And it was actually on a list of his underrated performances a couple different lists. So maybe I'm just missing something there. But I am putting it in D. It is not as bad as Giallo or Inappropriate Comedy. You know what? It might actually be better than Life Without Zoe, which is this segment in New York Stories. Dragon Blade is another one of those, like I mentioned with The Thin Red Line and A Matador's Mistress. It's visually beautiful. There's some really cool moments, like Adrien and Jackie Chan having a sword fight in the middle of the Gobi Desert, which, you can't really beat that on the coolness level. So, but I'm going to put it in C, but at the beginning of C, I think. Actually, you know what? That's not really fair. I think we're going to put it toward the end of B instead. How about that? Now, Backtrack is one of my favorites, honestly, and it's underrated, I feel. I really like Backtrack. I'm actually going to put it in A tier, but maybe at the, no, I like it better than Dummy. I really do. I'm going to put it here between the Brothers Bloom and Dummy. Septembers of Shiraz. I think what was so disappointing about that was the lead up to it. It was really overhyped at the time it came out, and it just didn't live up to all the things they were saying it was going to be. So I'm going to put it in C. I'm actually going to put it... I'm putting it below Solo. I know that sounds ridiculous. Manhattan Night is a decent film. Adrien's performance is good, I think. It's just, there's some things about the story that are just icky, for lack of a better word. I am going to put it in C with these other ones that give me the ick, like 6 Ways to Sunday and The Boy Who Cried B Word. All right. Bullethead, it is underrated. I'm putting it in A tier. I know. I'm actually going to put it above Summer of Sam. That's how strongly I feel. So, hot take, I think, but whatever. My list, right? My ranking. I would love to see other people. I would love for this to become a trend. That would be awesome. If all of a sudden on YouTube there's a bunch of people doing Adrien Brody movie tier lists, that would be sweet. Anyway, Who Will Write Our History is part documentary and part reenactments. It's about Jewish people during World War II writing their history. And they were burying it in various locations to keep the Germans from destroying it. And at that time, the Germans, well, I don't want to say the Germans, the Nazis, not all Germans, were spreading a false narrative. And they had lots of propaganda films and stuff about Jewish people. And so this was a way of countering that, telling their side of the story, basically. So they had to kind of bury all the stuff and then tell their side of the story later, because obviously they couldn't at that time. Adrien reads aloud some of the writings of one of the characters, or one of the people involved. So it's pretty interesting. It's a good film. I actually saw it at a synagogue when it came out, so that was kind of a blessing. I'm actually going to put it in A tier. I'm going to put it right here after Harrison's Flowers. Just for the record, Adrien doesn't actually appear on screen. He provides a voice of one of the characters. I keep saying characters, they're real people, but you know what I'm saying. One of the people involved in this story. He reads his writings. Airstrike. Someone referred to Airstrike as the Sharknado of Chinese war films, and I have to say I agree with that assessment. It's one of those films that's so bad that it's actually entertaining, and it's the unintentional comedy, you know. And Adrien Brody and Bruce Willis both got roped into this somehow. I don't think they knew what the rest of the film was going to look like when they did their parts. So yeah, the scenes that took place independent of them, I don't think they had any idea of the shenanigans. So we're going to put Airstrike in D, but at the start of D. So it's kind of a C minus. Clean. It's hard to judge this one because it's something Adrien wanted to make for a long time. And he co-wrote the story. He composed most of the music. So, I mean, it's a passion project of his. It was really important to him. So, as a fan of his, I'm happy for him that he got to make it. It's fun on a level, kind of in a revenge sort of way, like a John Wick kind of, you know, that kind of thing. I'm gonna put it in B. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the top of B. The French Dispatch. Adrien's segment is called the Concrete Masterpiece, and it's fantastic. I talked about this in the Wes Anderson video, so I'll spare you further details. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in A. However, I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it between Hollywoodland and Predators. That might seem like odd placement, but I'm judging it as a whole, not just his segment. So it was just his segment. If that was like a short film, S tier. See How They Run is fun. It's kind of flew under the radar when it came out, I feel like. But it has Saoirse Ronan and Sam Rockwell in it, and Adrien, of course, David Oyelowo. I'm going to go ahead and put it in B. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to put it in A. I'm going to put it right here. Is it better than Who Will Write Our History? No. I'm going to put it right here. Between Backtrack and Dummy, I think. Blonde. Yikes. Blonde is... Adrien's chemistry with Ana de Armas is pretty good. It rubs me the wrong way. I can't. I'm gonna put it in D, honestly, but at the start of D, because it's not as bad as these. we'll be fair. Manodrome, I am not at all a Jesse Eisenberg person, but this film was not as bad as I was expecting. I'm going to put it in C, honestly, but below Splice, I think. Actually, we'll put it below Home at Last, too. Home at Last, I feel bad to put Home at Last down here, to be honest. You know what, I'm going to put Home at Last up here, The Angels in the Outfield. Because they're, you know, there's similar family movie vibe, so. Ghosted, D. Seriously, I wanted to like it more than I did. I feel bad for Ana de Armas right now, because the two they were in together are both in D. I've seen her do better work, honestly, so it's not her fault. Okay, now Fool's Paradise. I talked about that in the fun side video as well. Honestly, at the end of B. Yeah. Asteroid City, which is the Wes Anderson. I'm putting that in A. Once I watched an explanation video essay about it, I liked it more. So I'm going to put it right here. You know what? I am going to put the Darjeeling Limited up here in S. I don't care. I don't care how hot of a take that is. And King of the Hill too. And The Brutalist, also S tier. Honestly, I'm putting The Brutalist over here. I mean, these are all great. They're the S tier. The Pianist is ultimately a better film. His performance is perhaps better in The Brutalist. I mean, he has more to do, more to say. If you've seen the video I did comparing the two, you know I agonized over this choice then too. So, yeah, you know, honestly, I'm going to get blasted for this in the comments. I honestly think The Grand Budapest Hotel is better than The Pianist. I also feel, you know, I think Midnight Paris and Darjeeling are better movies than Detachment. And The Brutalist is perhaps better than Detachment. His performance is fantastic in Detachment, but the film overall is not as good as The Brutalist. So The Brutalist is one of those films that's frustrating for me because, you know, it had a lot of promise. It did not stick the landing, for lack of a better term. So I'm thinking this is probably the final. So yeah. I mean, if I look at it too long, I'm going to want to rearrange it. So I'm just going to stop there. Thank you for watching. As I said, you can find this tier list at TierMaker.com. If you search Adrien Brody, it should pop up. I'm also putting the direct link in the description. So if you'd like to go to TierMaker and make your own ranking, it should be there. Comment down below if you happen to have a YouTube channel and you made one of these. I would love to see it. Take care. See you next time.